What's it doing? Preparing to go live. You can tell I'm just like.
I know you're into this.
I'm gonna be tacky. After this.
Take away mine. They're blocking the YouTube.
Really nice back.
You just go to county. They're blocking the YouTube with their rules.
Yeah, originally the city trip was supposed to go.
We're not able to go live.
I still would
No,
know.
well, we don't have to go live until July, so that's okay.
That's a good thing we're doing.
Youngest son is amazing at it.
We have some Zoom. We have some Zoom. That's for sure.
He just knows so much. He can't get back down to that simple answers.
Why does it say live though up there?
Just fix it. Just fix
Let me
it.
go to YouTube and see. if it's famous up here.
Talk to me. Don't tell me what you're doing.
As I said, the PowerPoint slide.
I think it was that one
This
there,
one.
yeah.
Oh, meeting. Right.
It's so much harder.
You're in trouble.
No, I know.
That's okay.
All right, so,
Use
all right, so how do we, I don't know.
Because
We're
that
beginning, right?
was much right stuff.
Okay.
They've taken, they've just taken.
Yeah. But can you shrink it back to,
I think that
so
was.
we can see everything?
iTunes breaking stuff.
I'm sure, it's just a wish list. You never know when fairy tales are true. though.
Everything, like tech, appliances, everything, there's planned obsolescence. Plan for it to be obsolete in X amount of time. This still small.
Cost me $20.
Okay, Nick O'Connor is waiting. So can I start rolling?
Good to go.
So just, I wanted Nick unmuted. But I don't see.
There it is. Everybody's in, nobody has their cameras on. And I have mine off. So you can see their name there, but you can see the people that don't have any.
Gotta tell.
I had no. Were you thinking guardrails, roof canals, or okay?
Okay, are we ready to start the meeting, please? So, to get us started, I will let you know our chairman and vice chairman won't be here tonight, so it's me, okay? We would typically be going live on YouTube, but this meeting, it didn't seem to work. Oh, we're live? Okay, so we are live. So, and this is satisfying an Indiana code that's going into effect July 1st. And Jody will talk more about that, or Jody, would you like to talk about that now?
We can cover that with the policy. I think that's part of the agenda.
Okay, perfect. So first, I'd like to get a motion and approval of the CAC meeting minutes from March 13th.
I so moved on the March meeting.
Second,
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting minutes approved. Next, we need to approve the Board of Directors meeting minutes from March 13th, and we'll pass those around for signatures. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes? Okay. Second, all those in favor, say aye. Yeah. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. So next, we're going to go over the financial reports, and all of you should receive copies of those. So I'm going to breeze through these very quickly. So we did not have a meeting in April, so these are March and April's financials. So I'm just going to go over the totals here. So for our fiscal officer report, total $5,436,576.08. Our receipts totaled $177,996.86. Our claims totaled $145,935.27 in our general fund and $960 in our business account. For total money as of April 30th, $5,458,930.93. Receipts, $194,802.17. Claims in our general, $54,686.60. And then in our business account, we had two claims, $17,460 and then $6,787.05. Any questions regarding our financial information? Can I have a motion to approve our financial reports, receipts, and claims? Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So we have a guest with us, a couple, but first we will introduce Easter Beyer. She is the Director of Transportation for Shelby Senior Services. And one of our special projects was to help them possibly with vehicles. So Easter, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you talk.
Thanks for having me. The big thing is Shelby Go consists of 2 buses and 5 vans. Our vans right now are side load vans and the ramps are only 30 inches wide, so they can only lift or be used for a standard wheelchair. So we're using our big buses for bariatric chairs. Our big buses are only getting like 9 miles to the gallon. And they're getting some age to them. They don't have a lot of miles on them, but they've got some serious issues. If we would get a new van, rear load, it will take bariatric chairs. The ramp is 39 inches wide. And it will haul 2 standard wheelchairs where our vans can only and load 1 at a time. And still have a passenger in the back too. So the side load ramps are a 700-pound weight limit. The rear loads are 1,000 pounds. Last year, Shelby Go spent about $20,000 in fuel. We are looking at a hybrid van that we would like to purchase that is self-charging. And we put about 65,000 miles on our vans last year on buses here just in Shelby County. And that's about all I have. I have some brochures of the van that we're looking at that I can leave with you. It's a Toyota Sienna.
What year is it?
The ones I've been seeing is 25s and 24s. So
How much are they?
they're running anywhere from 59 to 62.
60. How many times did you use would you have needed the wheelchair, the special wheelchair?
For the bus, like this week alone, I called a lady from Harrison Street Apartments 3 times to wound care.
So roughly, what did you say a year?
We probably do 1,000, 1,500.
That's about a year. And then we could just buy 1 bus for now, just for those purposes.
If that's what you guys are willing to help us with, yeah.
I just didn't know what your plan
Yeah.
was, or
I'm sure that we will eventually have to start replacing everything because we have a van that's a 2016 that's got almost 100,000 miles on it. And then our 419 vans are starting to get in the 70s and 80s thousand miles. And we had to have 2 transmissions put in vans last year. So
Did you look to see how much a non-hybrid
yeah,
or a total electric van?
they are depending on the brand you get, some of them go down to 50. The state has the Chrysler vans. He just sent out some stuff. They've actually dropped them a little bit in price. They went from 72,000 down to 62,000 for the commercials. Chrysler ones, so, which is what we got now. They're not bariatric.
So the hybrid part's about 10 grand, you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much do you think the hybrid would save you a year in gas?
It depends on how much we use it. I mean, even if they use it for a standard wheelchair, I would say it could probably save us at least $5,000-6,000 a year.
So you want to buy like a whole new fleet?
It will. No, we don't have the money to buy a whole new fleet. I mean,
Well,
because the state only matches 85% if we go through state. And we have to come up with that 15% match money.
Okay.
So
will the state buy part of the van then?
they will, if we put in a request for it, but it would take a year to get one. I would have put in the request now for 26.
And you haven't done that yet?
I haven't even done my yearly budget. I'm working on that now. For 26. That's what we're working on right now.
But if you, let's say you put in a request now, can you, because you said you probably got to replace one every year.
Well,
You could-
we replaced them. I think you were on the board, Jordan, when we replaced two. The last two 19s that we got.
I'm saying you put a request in for the state will pay 85%.
It actually took us 2 years to get those vans. She
Right.
put the request in, it took him 2 years to get them.
We go put the request in knowing that if we get one van now, then the next year, have you done that?
No. Actually, they just sent all this stuff out in the last month about the request and stuff.
So you're only looking for 15% of the total cost.
No, we would. I don't know how Nick worded this to all you guys. He was saying that you guys have a grant. I mean, we can do if this, I don't know exactly what the state will match because I'm new at this. And I can get Todd from state to come in and let's talk about it more, but it's up to 85% that they will cover. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get that 85%, but it's up to.
But that's the 1 year waiting period, correct? And you have an immediate need, it sounds like.
Yeah, because this bus is pretty much set through COVID because there was no way to isolate from other people. So they sat for 3 years and we've had some issues with them since we've been putting them back on the road.
So this was a project that we had talked about that was approved with our special projects committee, and then they brought those to the full board, and it was one of those things that we said, yes, we'd like to do. So
We allocate, you know how much we allocated?
no. I think we were just kind of waiting on the information from them to find out what it was going to take. No, dollars depend on the need.
I think we just voted to approve the project, not necessarily the dollar.
And part of the agreement we talked about as well would be having some of our information on there, so our graphics would be on it and people would be able to see it and
Get some prices like per van, like it's a gas van.
Yeah.
Hybrid, fully electric, get those prices.
I mean, I've got some of those here. I mean, they go as high as 70,000, but I can call the guy and get him to do me a burnout. Love the Superior, because they do have commercial vans, so, I mean, I can get him to write me up a price list and get it sent to you, so I can get it through Nick to you.
Maybe we could consider one now with the possibility of kicking in 15% after they
Mhm.
get the state grant.
mhm.
Would you get two of the same configuration?
Yes. I mean, that's like all of our Chryslers right now. And, but I mean, if we can't get,
I meant
Rear-
rear load.
I would like to get both rear load, yeah. To try to get rid of the buses eventually.
If you purchased one away from like not going to the state, how quickly could you get it? Just if it's you guys.
I mean, Superior had the one we were looking at right up on the lot.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
The state will just help
Right,
fund the senior services.
right.
But then it becomes a state-owned van too, when they do that. Your money is basically their money.
What do you mean?
They hold the title. We got the titles, but I have to turn everything over to them. Cause I reached out to Todd and I said, I have a few questions. Could you answer for me, please? If Shelby County is willing to help purchase vans for Shelby Go, I said, what would I need to do on my end? And he said he just need a copy of the titles that basically for Shelby Senior Services. To where right now, ours, I think, have Johnson County Commissioners rep. Because we were part of Johnson County when we bought those vans.
But if he wants a copy of the title, that's just probably a pretty big.
Yeah, yeah, and that it meets all the compliance and stuff.
Well, van.
But if they help us purchase it, somehow they become. I have to report what's theirs every year. And keep it, and basically like those buses. They're not, we're not gonna be able to sell them, we'll probably have to trade them off. Give them to another company. Because they haven't met the depreciation because of mileage. So they can come in and just give them to another transport service.
We own those other vans or no?
We own the 16. And the state owns the other 4. 19s.
We,
Mhm. They're part of the,
and we would just wouldn't run them until they're just dead? And they give it back to the state once they're just.
once
done?
they have to reach so many years and so many miles before I can depreciate them out. And I think it's 10 years and 100,000 miles.
They're 16,
The one's a 16, yes.
so we're talking one more year.
Mhm. Yep, and it's got right about 98,000 miles on. The buses are 15, they meet the year amount, but they don't, on the mileage, they're only 50,000 miles on. Because we just don't drive them every day because they use so much gas. So. When we ran the loop around town, which is what they were originally used for. We would put $60, $70 a day in them and might have 2 riders on them all day long. Then some days you might have 10. But it was hit or miss. So we were actually losing money on it. Plus paying a driver to drive it for 9 hours.
So those just get turned back in like it's a lease almost.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get no value, no credit, no.
But you can hang on to them, right?
Yes, we can hang on to them, but if they depreciate out, we can't sell them. They let us dispose of them. Like we've sold a few vans. Got 3,000, 3,500 out of them as they've reached their life. Sell them to somebody that needs them. We had a car that we sold for 3,500. So.
Does the recycle district need a party bus?
What do you guys think? Transportation bus. I like it. That'd be great.
I will apologize, I'm doing this with them.
Me too.
So. I've not been director long, so.
So maybe we have you pick out 3, that would be perfect.
Mhm.
And then I can submit that to the board and then we can make a decision at our next meeting. Is that an issue with your timeline?
I will get on it and get back to you.
Okay. So, well, thank you, Easter, for coming to our meeting and
Thanks for having me.
presenting your information.
You guys I can leave the brochures on these, videos for you, though. What they do. How they recharge. Okay, thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so I think we're still doing good on time. I'm going to go over the April recycling tonnages. So we collected 42.9 tons of material. E-scrap 27,316 pounds. I picked up 83 flags at all of our sites that have flag boxes. We have collected 2,762 pounds of styrofoam so far this year. Food waste, 7,700 pounds. car seats, 271, and then 243 pounds of alkaline batteries. Here are our expenses, and I did add, the city of Shelbyville. They collected 77.45 tons in April, and we started paying for their service, so that will be included from this point going forward. Any questions?
Just curious, how did those numbers add up?
About 33,000 approximately. Recycle truck, we don't have the mayor or Dave Fannin with us here. Chuck, do you have anything to report for the city? Okay, we'll just skip that. Special projects update. We have talked about the boat launches, so I've had conversations with Derek Byers. Ken Apsley actually travels the rivers quite often, and he likes to be involved. So Nathan and I are going to get a meeting scheduled with those two so we can move forward with that. I already mentioned the city's recycle pickup. Updating the recycle guide, very close. We've submitted almost all the information, so that will be coming out in the next couple of months. We did issue a check to Morristown to fund their pickleball court using the recycled asphalt. I did send letters to our district's recycle sites about allowing paving in those areas. So Bogstown's approved. Fairland, I sent it to Jeremy Creech. He said, yes, he just hasn't put anything in writing yet. Have not heard from Waldron. So anybody that can help me on that, I can talk to you afterwards, but
Talking for the
Asphalt pads.
yeah, where the recycle container is on GIS is showing that Myers. Yeah, and I've sent them a letter and no response. So, but maybe we can talk about maybe setting up a meeting with them or something like that to get their answer on that. Partner with the Blue River Community Foundation, and Jody and I met with Jennifer Jones, and we are going to be funding 3 $5,000 scholarships to students that will be furthering their degree or their education with environmental degrees. So we're excited about that. And then, of course, we talked about the senior services.
I got a question. So with the Blue River Foundation, did we just put money into a fund so that that fund generates enough for 5,000 each year?
No, not yet. So we have to do that. But this was the immediate thing, is just to send them a check for the 15,000. And then we can set up an endowment or another fund like
I
that.
don't know if that's what we're gonna do with it or just do
Yeah,
scholarships.
yeah. So I would like to, but I think that maybe some more conversations about what do we want to do. I think there is you can set up a field of interest grant or an endowment. So there's two choices, and I would prefer Jennifer come here and talk to you about it once we do set up that sustaining fund.
I think it's a 2-year wait before you can give those out.
Yeah. Just curious, like if we do the endowment, which I think is a good thing, just thinking years down the road, what if something in the landfill, that's what it's sold out, something extremely hazardous, you know what I mean? And now, from years and years and years on, we gotta pay for something that catastrophic that happened there or whatever.
So we shouldn't have to pay for it. The landfill has to submit money to the state, and the state holds a fund there that if the landfill has an issue and it's an abandoned issue where the owner doesn't take care of it, they do have the funds. So they should never have to come back to us and say, hey, we need some of your money back.
That's why we should
Yeah.
set up an endowment
Yeah.
or something.
So, okay. Any other questions? So Virginia Anderson, a compliance property. This happened last year, and I sent you guys some information on it. It's a property in Morristown where these pictures show overgrown tall grass, weeds. You can't see all the junk and trash there because it's all covered up, but We tried to contact property owners with no luck. So we went in and abated the property and spent about $3,000. We did put the lien on the property, but in the meantime, there was a tax sale. So the new property owner has came to me and said, hey, you know, am I responsible for this? And really, I think it was just a bad situation. I think I told you we've been enforcing the nuisance solid waste ordinance for many, many years and never had this happen. So I'm asking that we relieve the new owner of that debt, basically, that assessment.
What is the new owner's plans with it? How much did he get for the tax sale? And is the local guy?
She lives in Morristown, and yes, she wants to fix it up and move her family there. So what she paid for it at tax sale, I don't know. Any other questions? So can I have a motion that we release the $3,000?
The motion with the stipulation that it turns into a homestead, you know what I mean, as versus an investor.
Second that.
If somebody's gonna put back to the community versus a lot of these tax sales are bought from guys in Florida.
Right.
And they just do a flip and we don't ever see that money again.
Yeah.
But if it's gonna be local, then I'm all for it.
She is definitely, she's local. Okay. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay. I will let her know, she'll be very happy, so. Next, so I mentioned this as well, our nuisance solid waste ordinance requires that times we clean up properties, like I just mentioned. And, the last time we had put out a RFP was 2019. It's really time to update it because things have changed in between now and then. We've added the tall grass and weeds. People are wanting some of their property back, and our contractor is having to store that and really not, he's storing it at no charge, and that's not fair to him. So we want to kind of update that. And so I'm requesting that you allow us to put together a RFP. We can put that together and present that to you at next month's meeting for your approval.
How much do you think one of these is?
I'm sorry.
How much is this?
It won't cost us anything to put it out. And basically, when our contractor goes to clean up that property, it's assessed as the lien. So typically, it's no money out of our pocket, but it's just updating our prices, the contractor's prices.
And if you have an outside bidder, like do like a draw up a new lease or new attorneys or anything like that.
No,
Do some.
no.
We're gonna do it in-house.
Yeah, I mean, Jody will do the RFP.
Yeah, we've already done one before, so.
Yeah. 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 So just requesting your approval so we can move forward with the RFP. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So activities, I mentioned I had picked up flags. We do have compost available for our food waste recovery program participants. Thank you, Jordan. Everybody loves compost. Been getting rave reviews for that. We did ship 520 pounds of prescription meds to the incinerator. We did have a meeting with Waste Management. And does anyone want to elaborate on that attended the meeting?
I'm just curious if we've heard anything else from Waste Management or any other complaints. Have you got any other
I
complaints?
have not. No. And I actually drove up there around Easter time, and there were no trash bags along the road. There was no trash laying along the road. There was no mud or dirt tracked out on 52. So I was very pleased. So anything else? Anybody else had any complaints lately? No? Okay. We did have lots of water issues when it rained here in our dock area. And as you can see, we still have water in our retention area. So I've been talking to the contractors about that. So I may be bringing more information to you at further meetings. We can now accept butane lighters. So we're excited about that. We did provide tours of our facility to Pam's History Club and a Boy Scout troop. We attended a virtual IDEM meeting. We did have a recycle load contaminated with medical waste. Unfortunately, trying to track that down and figure out where it came from, not exactly sure. But working on that. And it was actually, when it went to Republic, they had to throw the whole load away. So they just couldn't pull out a little bit of that stuff. It did contaminate the whole load. Did provide a tour of our facility, Johnson County Solid Waste Management District. They're in the middle of construction of a new facility as well. So they're looking at ours to help them. And then, of course, equipment installed for our online meetings to satisfy our Indiana code requirement. So a couple other things that I'm going to ask for approval. Dave Clenny is here with Waste Management, and he has requested that he join us with our Citizens Advisory Committee. So that is something that I have to request from the board to approve. So Dave, would you like to tell everybody about yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I've been the site manager, site engineer out there for 38 years or so. So I've been there quite a long time. I know the area very well. But we just thought it would be a better idea to have a little more working together, I guess, between Solid Waste Board and us. So we thought it'd be a good idea to have a presence in the with the committee. So we just request to be on the committee.
Any questions for Dave?
Great idea, yeah. You know,
Sorry?
I think that's a great idea, you know. We're here firsthand or got questions, or, yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Thanks for joining the group.
So do I have a motion to accept Dave as a member of our advisory committee? Robert can't vote, so you're lucky, Dave. Oh, geez. Did anybody make a motion? Okay. Do I have a second? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I'm going to pass it along to Jody to talk about our virtual meetings and such here.
Did you circulate the resolution if you said?
I don't remember receiving it.
When I attached these.
I don't remember seeing it.
I have a copy here. So the board has to pass a policy, an electronic meetings policy. Most of you already serve on local government boards. You've probably already done this, but there's just certain restrictions under the law that takes effect July 1st for electronic meeting attendance. Some being at least 80% of the board has to be physically present. When members are attending virtually, all those are taken by roll call. And then in the meeting minutes, we'll have to identify whether members attended in person or virtually. So I don't know, Lisa, if you want to go ahead and say, I have a copy, entertain this. So
I would. I mean,
it'll have to be passed before July 1st. So.
Are you guys good to pass it, or would you prefer we send it and pass it in June?
I think legitimately you should do that.
Okay.
That'd be the better way to go.
I don't trust Jody, so.
This is being recorded, baby. See it on YouTube.
Okay. Well, I think that is it for me, so I'm gonna pass it over to Ann.
Okay, so these are my education numbers for my April classes. And I did 65 classroom programs and the topics recycling right. We talked about landfills, water pollution, impacts of litter, recycling plastics in Shelby County. We did the Earth Cookie a few times and recycling superheroes. Also, I had a booth at the YMCA Healthy Kids Day, promoting our, that's okay. Oh, there I am, promoting our food scrap recovery program. And I think we handed out about 24, 25, or signed about 24 families up for that program that day. It's always a well-attended event. This is our third year being a part of that, that day at the YMCA. Yeah, let's see what else I have on there. Boy Scouts.
Yep.
Yeah,
Boy
so, and Lisa mentioned that we did a tour for a Fairland Boy Scout troop and their leaders. And yeah, it was lively.
Yep. Announce this.
Yeah, so the Recycle Bowl wrapped up last Friday. Loper Elementary collected the most in pounds of aluminum cans at about, I think it was 754 pounds. And then St. Joe was the per capita winner, you know, taking into account, you know, the amount of students and staff. But I'll tell you what, they did great. Like Waldron Elementary was second place to Loper and to St. Joe. And like Waldron Elementary brought in like 314, I think, pounds. So I think overall, we were over 1,000 pounds.
Yep, 1,366
There you go.
pounds.
She's got it. Oh, there it is. I'm not even looking up the heading.
Right.
It's a fun month when we do this. The kids, they're into it. They really are. They're fun. They come into school with their little bag of cans and they put it outside the classroom door. And then usually the fifth graders, the oldest classes pick them up during the day and take them to the bin. And we kept Pettit's popping. Hey, Rusty, Loper's ready for another pickup. So
I'm just curious, how many of these cans were beer cans?
some of them are.
What about Waldron compared to Loper?
I don't know. I try to just like, you know, blur out on that. I just like, oh, it's 3/4 full.
That's true.
Any questions for Ann?
Can we do a wine bottle collection on next one?
I like that idea.
We did like that idea. So I'll be delivering the checks to all the schools. So every school that, you know, participated, they get 75 cents a pound for the aluminum that they collected, because that's the market rate right now. Last year, it was 45 cents. That's a huge jump. And so, yeah, they're gonna have some, aluminum cans. Exciting. That's good stuff. I think that's it for me. So, yeah. I'm done.
Okay, so miscellaneous, got lots of things going on. We'll be at the farmer's market this Saturday to pass out our food waste buckets. We'll also be at the high school scholarship award ceremony on May 12th. There will be 2 students receiving a scholarship at Shelbyville High School, and then 1 student at Morristown High School on May 16th. Boone County Solid Waste wants to come see our facility. They'll be here May 16th. We will have another joint meeting June 12th, and we will be able to tour the new Fairland Landscape Supply Company. So we'll probably start out here, and anyone that's interested in going on the tour will just drive out to it. And then also we have our waste tire event scheduled. So that was a grant we received from IDEM. So that will be June 14th from 7:30 to 11. And we'll be able to take as many tires as anyone wants to bring us, any size, on and off the rim. So any questions? Any public comments? Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Do I have a second?
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
No.